Hey there, movie fans, and happy holidays to you. We are recording this episode on Christmas Eve. So one of us is very, very much into the Christmas spirit. It's not Perry. It's not
No,
me.
what are you talking about? I got my Christmas dinosaur and I've got my Christmas lights on.
I got my Dodgers t-shirt. I'm already ready for spring training in 2025. Welcome to a brand new episode of FYC with me, the amazing Perri Nemiroff, and the mighty Jeff Snyder. And because it is the holiday season, you're going to get not one category, not two categories, but three categories in this very special episode of FYC. We are doing Best Animated Feature, and we are doing Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Screenplay Predictions. And we're going to start with Animated Feature. So, Jeff, what is your number one pick for a nomination? Possibly a win.
It's a crazy pick.
Okay.
It's a wild pick.
What could it be?
The Wild Robot.
That's wild, all right, but not out of the ordinary. The Wild Robot. Love that movie. Fantastic film from DreamWorks. What did you love about it, Jeff?
I'm halfway through it. I started watching it. I started watching it this morning.
You're making your prediction based on seeing only half of the movie. All right.
That's correct. We've never made predictions based on not seeing movies.
That's true. We don't always make predictions.
I started it this morning. It's lovely. And when this episode is over, I think I'll finish it.
You should finish it. Perri, where is Wild Robot on your list?
It is number one. And I'll also say that this is the category that I might be most confident in my 5 picks.
Oh, my 5 picks are probably going to match yours and Jeff's. I feel like this is a category where the 5 predicted nominations are absolutely informed and almost assured. I too had the Wild Robot at number 1. Saw it at the Toronto Film Festival. Absolutely loved it. Total box office worldwide for the film is $324 million. It led the way at the Annie Award nominations. Those are the awards for animated films and shorts with 10 Annie Award nominations, also 3 Critics' Choice nominations, and 4 Golden Globe nominations. I feel like this is definitely the front runner. I'd be surprised if it doesn't win, but maybe it will. It won't. Maybe, who knows? All right. So, Perri, what is your number 2?
I do think Wild Robot is going to win this award. But if I had to say this was a race between 2 films, I think the only other movie with any shot of winning at this point is Flow.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Perri?
No, she's
I'm
right
here.
You've lost your own marbles.
Jeff, you should have played along. Like, what's the jokes on social media when like whole families pretend one kid has disappeared?
Yeah. That's my bad.
But anyway, I think that Flow has gotten a whole ton of love this season, and I think it does prove to be catching on more and more with each passing day. The movie's in theaters right now. I loved it. Highly recommend it. If anything tops The Wild Robot, I think it's going to be Flow.
I loved Flow. I too have it at number 2. Was nominated for an Annie Award for Best Independent Animated Movie, 2 Critics' Choice Awards for Animated Feature and International Feature. It played at the Cannes Film Festival back in May, and 1 Golden Globe nomination, 1 Spirit Award nomination, winner for Best Animation at the LA Film Critics Association. I absolutely love this film. It is a beautiful, exquisite, profound, really, 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 really beautiful movie. And, we just got 2 more cats. So we have 4 cats now. 4 cats. And they're all over the place. But
I want to see you so badly, man.
I got it before the show is over. I got to show you Chloe. Chloe is our black cat. And our black cat looks just like the cat from Flow. So when Flow was over, I came back and I picked up my black kitty, Chloe, and I hugged her because I felt like the movie brought me closer to her. This movie is just beautiful. Jeff, did you see Flow yet?
I did not see Flow.
It's so good. It's so good. If there's any movie that could really challenge The Wild Robot, I think, a lot of people are going to say it could be Inside Out too. Maybe it is, but I think Flow's the movie. I just think it's just There is no animated movie like it. The animation is gorgeous. The ambiguity of it is really, something that stays with you. Cannot recommend Flow enough. Like Perri said, it's in theaters now. But Jeff, do you have Flow on your list, even if you haven't seen it?
I got Flow. Possibly winning Oscar gold. I have it number 2.
You have Flow at number 2. Yeah. All right. I thought, Jeff, you were going to have my number 3 at your number 2, which is Inside Out 2.
Dude, I'm hip. I'm hip to the animation community. I know what the word is about Flow. I know it's what the cool kids are talking about. So,
well, where's Inside Out 2 on your list, Jeff?
It's number 3.
It's number 3. Perri, where's Inside Out 2 on your list?
You'll never guess where Inside Out 2 is on my list.
It's number 3.
It's number 3.
It is number 3 for me as well. Not only is Inside Out 2 the biggest animated movie of the year, it is the biggest animated movie of all time with $1.7 billion. That's 1.7 with a B billion, 7 Annie Award nominations, 1 Critics' Choice nom, 2 Golden Globe nominations. Of course, one of those Golden Globe nominations is in a category for Best Box Office Achievement, which is like, whatever. All right. But Inside Out 2, I mean, I've loved Inside Out 2, but I thought the first one was better. The first one did win Best Animated Feature for the 2015 Oscars. Does Inside Out 2 have a chance to pull ahead of, if not only Flow, but The Wild Robot? What do you think?
I loved Inside Out 2. I thought it was just as good as the first one, but different. I think if the first one gets an edge for me, it's because it's the movie that started off the genius concept. But I think Inside Out 2 is exceptional, and I'm trying to figure out the rest of my top 10 at the moment. And it's got both that and The Wild Robot actually have a very real chance of getting into that list. I don't think Inside Out 2 has much of a chance at this point. It just seems, I thought the race was going to be between Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot because they're both excellent and because they're both, they got the studio backing behind them. But I think as this race has come into focus, it is quite clear that Inside Out 2 will likely be very happy with the nomination and not move beyond it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Perri. I think it's an uphill battle for that to win. I just think it's full of like great ideas, but a lot of the ideas were already introduced in the original, and this isn't quite as good as the original. I think you have to do something really exceptional to be a sequel and to win this award, and I just think it's a tough year. Wild Robot's too good.
I agree.
So far.
Well, Toy Story 3 did win the Best Animated Feature Award back in 2010. So it's not unusual for an animated sequel to win. But I do think that there is a lot of love for Flow, even though a lot of people haven't seen it. A lot of Oscar voters and guild members have seen it, and it is truly a beloved, unique film. Okay, so we got Wild Robot, Flow, Inside Out 2 are on our list here as 1, 2, and 3. So, Jeffo, what is number 4 on your list?
Memoir of the Snail.
Okay, Jeff's internet is slowed him down today. So it's okay. We love Jeff, and Memoir of a Snail is number 4 on my list as well. Nominated for Best Indie Animated Feature at the Annie Awards. Also 1 Critics' Choice nom, 1 Golden Globe nom. Perri, where is Memoir of a Snail on your list?
Number 4. I thought Memoir of a Snail was phenomenal. I just think that this race has narrowed to 2 films, and unfortunately Memoir of a Snail is a little too far behind, but I would be absolutely shocked if it didn't at least get a nomination.
So you have it at number 4?
Number 4.
Yeah, okay. Snail is trailing at this point.
Snail is trailing.
In the race. In the race.
Have you seen it, Jeff?
No.
I want your opinion on all the animated movies.
Yeah, I would love I would love to see them. Someone should get in touch.
Memoir of a Snail is also great.
The animated films this year have been exceptional. Even the movies outside of the top 5 nominees. All right, so Perri, what's rounding out your top 5?
So I'm going to go with Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. 1, because it's a Netflix movie, and Netflix frequently runs excellent award season campaigns. 2, because it's Wallace and Gromit, and obviously that is an iconic animation brand. And 3, because it's good. It's delightful to see those characters return, and I'm just endlessly fascinated by like the stop motion animation feats that they pull off in films like that, and it's great. And like last year I was a little did Chicken Run didn't get a nomination last year, right? It never did.
Chicken Run, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'll look that up, but I do think Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul deserves to be in the category this year, and I do think it's going to get in.
Well, the Wallace and Gromit short did win an Academy Award for Best Animated Short years and years and years ago. So Wallace and Gromit is definitely beloved by Academy voters. These movies are pretty brilliant, the Aardman films. And this was nominated for 7 Annie Awards, tying with Inside Out, second to Wild Robot with 10 Annie Awards, also a Critics' Choice nom and a Golden Globe nom. Jeff, where is Wallace and Gromit? Do Wallace and Gromit round out your top 5?
They do, but I don't feel good about it. I'm like, why are we're doing Wallace and Gromit again? That's going to get another nomination. But what else am I supposed to say? Lord of the Rings? That movie was just completely ignored. I mean, it did look kind of cool, but like that movie, like no one is talking about that movie, right?
It doesn't seem it. Mance, did you have? I'm sorry, I was looking up the other information. Did you also have Wallace and Gromit 5?
Yeah, it's my number 5.
Yeah,
I think there's one other movie that could maybe sneak in here because I think which one?
Piece by Piece.
I do think that has a chance, but I'm rooting for it to be a different one. And I think they've been doing a really good job getting the word out for this movie to be considered this way. And I also think the movie is extremely well done. It's Transformers 1. And I do think the fact that it's part of the franchise, gives it a bit of a barrier because certain, and I understand why folks out there have certain expectations. When you say, a Transformers movie, I thought they did a really good job crafting a prequel story that is for younger moviegoers, longtime fans of the brand. And also the animation is stunning. And like the design of those locations is so incredibly detailed. I thought that movie was really, really well done. And I do think it's got a little bit of an uphill battle to top something like Wallace and Gromit, but I wouldn't mind seeing it be like a little bit of a surprise nomination here.
Transformers 1 is the best Transformers movie. I think that when you hear a Transformers movie, you go, oh my gosh. But, Bumblebee was great, and Transformers 1 is the best. It's animated, obviously. I agree with Perri, but I don't think it gets in.
Yeah, I think your instincts like about Lord of the Rings and Transformers are right, that they're going to sort of discriminate against the big franchise stuff. That's why I asked about Piece by Piece, because I think that is sort of the big contender for
okay, so this is Chloe.
God.
This is why Chloe is, she doesn't like to be held. She's brand new. She's not used to this.
It really was like Flo the movie came to life before my eyes on StreamYard. That was great.
I'm telling you, when I saw the one sheet, the movie poster of Chloe, I went, oh my God, that's my cat.
Oh,
but anyway, so yes, I have a vested interest in that movie. Anyway,
wait, man, just one thing, just because I brought it up before. I did look up. It was Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget, and it did get bumped out. That was one of those ones where it was also Netflix, and they released it really late in the season, like towards the end of December, and it felt like it just it didn't make enough noise. It didn't get in front of enough eyes. That movie was also really, really good, and I thought it was deserving of being in the race, but it got bumped out.
It got clucked.
Jeff.
All right.
On fire today.
What about, look, a movie that I didn't really like very much, but a movie that is defying the odds and doing extremely well at the box office, Moana 2.
Defying the odds. Oh, the odds have been defied.
That movie I did not like that movie at all.
Yeah, I was a little I don't think it is a terrible movie, but as someone who loves rewatching the original, I was quite disappointed in the new one.
All right. What about Piece by Piece? The Focus Features movie about Pharrell Williams.
To me, that's the threat for the 5 slot.
Who's that?
It's Malcolm. He got jealous.
Malcolm.
He never comes over.
Malcolm.
sit
Be heard,
here?
Chloe. All right. So
does Chicken for Linda have a chance here? That's the only other movie that was on the radar.
No.
Eh.
All right.
I do. I think we know our 5. This is a category where I really would be shocked if an upset happened.
Pharrell Williams is mad, but he's not happy. Or Pharrell Williams is not happy.
Since we've been doing since we've been doing FYC, I don't think we've ever had all 5 picks in a category matched like animated feature, Wild Robot, Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. Let's move on to Adapted.
Wait, Mance, they also all perfectly matched too. It wasn't like we all had the 5 same. We all had them in the exact same order.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. That's sweep. Last question. That Skydance movie, Spellbound, that was on Netflix, that doesn't have any chance, right?
No.
I mean, I like the film, but I don't think it's as strong as any of these others, even, piece by piece.
I mean, we didn't bring up Ultraman Uprising, which that maybe the second tier of maybes for that one.
Yeah, that's a second tier of maybes. All right, moving on to Adapted Screenplay. Perry, what do you have at number 1?
Hold on, let me scroll to the next category on my Gold Derby, which takes a bajillion years. It is Adapted we're talking about, so I should know it off the top of my head. My number 1 for Adapted would be Conclave.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jeff?
no, it's Conclave.
Jeff?
It is Conclave.
Yeah, it's Conclave for me as well. Conclave is an exceptionally well-written movie. Like when you're watching that movie and you hear the dialogue and just the intricacies of the plot and the plot developments and the behind the scenes at the Vatican, all the political backstabbing that's going on at the Vatican. Of course, that truly wild surprise at the end, which no one saw that coming. Peter Strahan wrote a fantastic screenplay, which is one of a few of our, certainly my Oscar predictions for screenplay that are ineligible for the Writers Guild Awards. And the reason, because I know this is going to come up, a lot of really good films that could get Oscar nominations for screenplay will not be eligible for Writers Guild Awards, because if a film is produced outside the Writers Guild collective bargaining agreement or written by a non-union member, it is not eligible for the Writers Guild Awards. So maybe that's the situation here, but Conclave is our number 1 pick.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is like an Oscar I feel is pretty much a lock. Do you guys think it's like a lock to win? Because I don't think he's going to care about a WGA award.
I do think we're going to talk about a number of other great films that are going to get nominations, but it does feel like at this point Conclave has a pretty significant lead in my mind.
I think so too.
And I feel like if it's not going to be like the front runner for Best Picture, this is the category, maybe Best Actor as well, where they absolutely give it. So, okay. So number 2, Jeff, what's number 2 on your list?
Sing Sing.
Sing Sing is number 2. Okay.
Yes.
Why'd you go with that for your number 2?
I mean, it made me feel something.
Oh,
and it's the only movie on this list, as good as these movies were, that really touched something inside me. And I think that it's absolutely going to get in.
All right. I have Sing Sing at number 3 by Clint Bentley and Greg Cuidar. Perry, where's Sing Sing on your list?
Sing Sing is my number 2 as well. We've been talking about Sing Sing this entire season of FYC, and there was concern at the beginning that it wouldn't be able to power through. And then there was also concern that when A24 picked up The Brutalist, that they would just completely shift all their resources that way. And Sing Sing would kind of, get swallowed up in the conversation. And I think the opposite has happened. I think in the past 4 weeks, it's risen and risen. And I think that's going to help it here in particular.
I think the rest of the conversation has been brutal, right? We were holding space for like a zillion movies, and
now we're holding space too,
except for Wicked.
I have Sing Sing at number 3, a exceptional movie, first premiered at Toronto a year and a half ago, and then it opened in theaters in August. And we definitely did talk about how it just doesn't seem to be getting it's not being talked about as much, but in the end, I guess it is going to be talked about as much, because it's going to Academy is going to sing its praises, and it's going to get nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for sure. My number 2 was Amelia Perez, also ineligible for a Writers Guild Award, but I thought that was a fantastic movie. Also, another one, when I saw it at Telluride, I was in from the beginning. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Extremely well-written film. Jeff, where is Amelia Perez on your list?
Number 5.
5.
I think it gets in, but I'm surprised by how confident you are, because there's a if there's a backlash against any movie brewing this season, it is that movie.
What's the backlash?
Everything. I mean, look at the comments in our last stream. Like, it's that movie has a lot of detractors. Let's just say that, about like the Spanish
and a lot of supporters. Like, if you do go through the comment section, particularly of last week's FYC, they're only, in regards to Amelia Perez, at least, there only seems to be extreme opinions and not very much in between.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
I think it gets in, Scott. I don't have it at 2. I have it at 5.
Okay. All right, Perri, where's Amelia Perez on your list?
It's actually also my number 5. I am a little concerned about the conversation. There's also someone out there who keeps coming at me every time my Oscar predictions for Amelia Perez in any category lowers. So I will reiterate, these are our predictions for likely nominees at the Oscars. It does not mean I'm changing my opinion about how I felt about the film. I still liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I do think, because it is a bit polarizing reaction-wise, I do think that is hurting its chances, especially in other categories where it was once considered the front runner. And here, I do see its chances slipping, and I have it holding on right now. But there are a couple of other things that I do think have a very real chance of getting a nomination here. So I wouldn't be too surprised if over the next couple of weeks I bump it out entirely.
All right. Well, what is next on your list there, Perri?
We're going back up to my number 3 right now, and that's where I have Nickel Boys. I am a little worried about Nickel Boys in many other categories where, at the beginning of the season, I might have thought it would have been a widely nominated film. I'm kind of limiting those expectations a bit. And this is probably one of the categories where I think it has a better shot of getting in. So I have it at number 3 right now.
I agree. I feel like the strongest chances for Nickel Boys for nominations would be certainly an adapted screenplay, although I do think it will get in for Best Picture as well. Definitely a movie that people love, and also has some detractors, but not as loud as the detractors that Amelia Perez has. I have Nickel Boys at number 4. Jeff, is Nickel Boys on your list? If so, where is it?
Absolutely not on this list.
Really?
First of all, I mean, if Nickel Boys gets any big nominations, it's going to be cinematography. That's where it stands its best chance. No, I don't have Nickel Boys on the list. I almost feel like the writing was made worse by the cinematography, because it's like you just don't get to see the emotion because you're behind these people's faces. I mean, I was not a fan. So my number 3, Scott.
Yes, Jeff.
Was Wicked.
Hey, I wasn't ready for that.
Boom. Yeah, okay. I think Wicked is going to get in for an adaptation pretty easily. I don't know what we're talking about.
Agree completely. Dana Fox and Winnie Holzman, Wicked Part 1, but it is does feel like a standalone movie, even though we have Wicked Part 2 coming next year. I love this movie to pieces. Every time someone says to me, "Did you see Wicked?" I'm like, "Oh my God, yeah, I loved it." Extremely well written. I have Wicked at number 5, but it is still on my list. Perri, where is Wicked on your list?
It's not on my list of all people. I can't believe it. To be fair, though, it is my number 6, and I see it climbing. I just see it having a stronger chance in certain other categories, and I haven't particularly seen the push here for screenplay, but it's an undeniably exceptional adaptation. And I think many departments on that film contribute to this, but I actually think it's the rare adaptation that improves upon the source material, which is real damn cool and should be recognized. And I hope that, my faith continues to increase in its chances.
I'm not going to say anything after I ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
Do you really think that Wicked is not going to get in and Nickel Boys is?
I do think that I think that the Academy is going to embrace Nickel Boys in 1 or 2 categories, and I do think it's probably going to be here and or cinematography.
I
I don't have it for Best Picture.
I don't see a world where Wicked is not nominated for adapted screenplay. I think it gets in, but we covered all my 5: Conclave, Amelia Perez, Sing Sing, Nickel Boys, and Wicked. Those are all on my list. What are we missing from yours, Perri?
At number 4, I have I'm Still Here. I still think that that movie, especially when it's going to be released early 2025, I think that one is only going to pick up steam because I think at this point, one of its biggest problems is that not enough people have seen it, even though it is being recognized from some awards bodies out there. But I think its chances is going to increase because once you see that movie, it's just like the quality of it is undeniable. And the fact that it's true source material and it's based on true experiences, the film, I mean, it's just like, it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. And I just think people are going to get behind it more and more as they continue to see it.
I have I'm Still Here on my honorable mention. It could absolutely go up, especially after it opens in January. More people see it, more people start talking about it. Deservedly so. It is an exceptionally powerful film, but more people need to see it. If anything, I see I'm Still Here taking out Nickel Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely think Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Sing Sing are on the list. I think Wicked is really a strong shot here. And if anything edges out Nickel Boys, it'll be I'm Still Here. But I'm not making that claim yet. Jeff, is there anything on your list we didn't get to?
Yes. First of all, regarding I'm Still Here, that is my top honorable mention. I do think that I'm Still Here could potentially bump Amelia Perez at number
Perhaps.
5, right?
Yep,
different international movie. No, we haven't discussed my number 4. You guys we've really been overlooking it all season. This is called a juggernaut, and we're talking about Dune Part 2.
Wow, that's not what I expected you to say.
Number 4, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2 is also on my honorable mention list. It's my number 1 honorable mention list. Dune Part 2 could absolutely get in. You know what? Again, my positioning of Nickel Boys is not a lock.
This is I can't even believe I can't believe we're having this conversation. Dune Part 2 is like a sci-fi masterpiece, and I say that as someone who's not into sci-fi movies and didn't care for the first Dune. It's an incredible movie, Dune 2. We're talking about Nickel Boys being better written than Dune 2. This is insane.
Look, you're right. You're right, but we all right. Perri, is Dune on your list?
Dune's not on my list. It would be in my honorable mentions as well. I do think as far as honorable mentions go, though, I would have something like A Complete Unknown, maybe like a notch above Dune 2. Again, I loved Dune 2. I think it is an extremely well-made film in a multitude of respects. I do think it is suffering from a March release, though, and I don't think the push has been as hard and in your face as it needs to be to remind people that Dune 2 exists, and it is that good when so many new movies are hogging the spotlight right now.
That's fair. I won't argue with that.
I won't argue with that either. Dune Part 2, it did make $700 million worldwide when it came out in March. Remember, it was supposed to come out in November of 2023, but the actors and writers strike pushed it into 2024. So that would have been a hell of a thing to shake up the 2023 Oscars, but I digress.
With A Complete Unknown, though, that movie, there's like 30 minutes of dialogue in that movie. It's a concert film. It's just singing. What could possibly be written?
A screenplay isn't only dialogue. I think the way that they craft that story, and in particular, the way that they wind up earning the title of the movie, presenting us with this icon and then begging the question, like, do we really know Bob Dylan to his fullest, and do the people around him know? I thought all of their narratives were so beautifully woven together to kind of support that for Bob Dylan, but then also showing how that relationship impacted them. I thought it was brilliantly written in a number of respects there.
I wouldn't call it brilliant, but I do like A Complete Unknown a lot, and I think the movie lived up to its title, but I don't think that made for a perfect movie.
I'm not calling it perfect, but yeah, I thought it was very, very well done.
It was well done. I enjoyed it. I thought that Timothée Chalamet did a great job, but I feel like if you're going to compare apples to apples, because James Mangold directed A Complete Unknown, he also directed Walk the Line, which I see Complete Unknown being like a sister film to Walk the Line. I think Walk the Line's a better movie. But I still liked it a lot. I have A Complete Unknown on my honorable mention this list as well. I also do have Inside Out 2, and I have The Wild Robot on my list of honorable mentions.
I had The Wild Robot on it as well.
Okay, so do either of you have any movies that we didn't get to?
There's one.
All right.
And that's my boy, Glenn Powell.
Hitman.
Who wrote
Hitman. I love Hitman on this list.
I get that it's not really maybe an Oscar play, but I really do have some love for that one.
I would love to see. Look, no one knows more than the two of you how much I love Hitman. I would love to see that make the cut, but I just think it's a very, very uphill battle with all these other movies that we've been talking about. But you know what? The Academy does love Richard Linklater, so maybe he does have a shot, and I think he deserves the shot. But I think because of our agreement on Conclave and Sing Sing and Amelia Perez all being on the three of our lists, and Nickel Boys and Wicked on our, two of us have that movie on our list. I think there's our five.
So
how do you feel about that?
So it's Conclave, Sing Sing, Wicked, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. That is Adapted Screenplay. Moving on to Original Screenplay. Jeff, what is your number one pick?
I'm feeling like this is kind of a lock too at this point.
I
think both these screenplay categories are kind of locks. It depends what happens elsewhere, but I think it's going to be Sean Baker for Anora. I think this is his. I think this is his name is engraved already.
Anora's awesome. Amazing film, amazing screenplay. I feel like the screenplays for original screenplay are stronger collectively than the screenplays for adapted screenplay.
Yes, much.
Collectively, Perri. I just feel like the five that I have on my list.
This is a bloodbath.
The five that I have on my list for original are movies that I would love to see either one of them win. I have Anora number one, just like you, Jeff. Where is Anora on your list, Perri?
It's my number one, so clearly I think it's the most likely to win, but I still see chances for a couple of others.
I do too.
You are.
You too.
You're right.
I see a big chance for my number two movie, which is A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg, a movie that is beloved. I love watching this movie because I just love hearing these characters talk to each other. And I just think that the way that the film plays out is really, really profound and moving and exquisite. Jesse Eisenberg did a spectacular job on this screenplay. Where is A Real Pain on your list, Perri?
Number two.
Number two. Jeff?
Number three.
All right.
Again, I've always thought it was a little thin on the writing side.
Oh, I love the writing. All right. Respect. Jeff, what's your number two?
I think it's The Brutalist. I think it's kind of, these movies are, in contention for Best Picture for real. I don't think that A Real Pain is. The Brutalist is a fantastic screenplay that really, takes you through someone's entire life almost, rather than like Anora, which is like, a couple weeks maybe in a girl's life. So it's just, again, a 210-minute movie versus A Real Pain, which is 80 minutes. I think The Brutalist is just tremendous. It's going to definitely compete with Anora for this award.
Okay, I have Brutalist at number three. Perri's were Brutalist on the list.
I have Brutalist at number three. I'll just make one curious observation that oftentimes we're like, are the Academy going to sit down and watch a 3.5 hour movie and it's going to get bumped out? And now all of a sudden we're like, well, that's a really long written film. Like maybe it's going to have a better chance than the short one. I think they're all great. I think all three of these are wildly different films, but I'm quite impressed by all three, and I do think their nominations are locks.
I'm a massive contradictions, Perri. We agree on the top three. Or Mance, do you?
Yeah, no. I have this. Brutalist is three, so I have Anora, A Real Pain, and Brutalist. So we agree on our three, even though the placing. Oh wait, no, I think we have the same placing. No, we don't have the same placing.
Me and you, we have the same placing, man.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. So number four, Jeff, what do you got? What do you got?
Give me the goddamn activator, Scott.
Yes.
I got the substance at number four.
Substance. Number 4 for
I
me
think
as well.
she could
What
still
a
crack the
movie.
directing field, Coralie, but I think that this is where they will honor her. I love just the premise of that movie. I think it's fantastic, and I don't think that it will be ignored this season.
The Substance is an instant classic. I feel like this is a movie that people are going to keep. It's going to be like a Kubrick movie. People are going to keep going back to it. I think this is after Demi Moore, her nomination for lead actress, which we all agree will probably happen. I think original screenplay, that is an original screenplay to a T. I love it. Perri, where is it on your list?
It is my number 4. I am patting myself on the back for holding so tight to my faith in The Substance, and I think it's paying off big time. I think she will get the nomination here. I also think this movie's chances are rising in other categories, and I'm beyond thrilled about it.
All right, then, Perri, what's your number 5?
Wait, what's your 4?
My 4 is The Substance.
Okay.
Wow. We're like on the same wavelength today.
We are.
How unusual. I guess not really, though.
Not really.
Sometimes. I mean, at this point in the season, I feel like we start to narrow our focus.
This is where we get crazy right here.
I was debating I think there's a bunch of honorable mentions, but there's 2 in particular that I was struggling to choose between, and eventually I tipped the scale towards September 5. I do see it getting widely overlooked in many categories, but I do think it's going to get nominated for something, and I think that something or some things is most likely to be in this category and editing.
I agree. I too have September 5 as my number 5. Tim Feldbaum and Moritz Binder wrote a spectacular screenplay. I've been a champion of this movie going back to, I think it was September 2nd when I saw the movie A Telluride. I love this movie. I have maybe I've been overhyping it a bit here on FYC and elsewhere, but I love it. Perri, I'm thrilled that you put it in your top 5 at number 5. It's just an exceptional movie. Jeff, what is your number 5?
I've got September 5.
Yes!
Wow.
Oh my God, I love it.
I don't feel good about it, though.
Why?
I don't feel good about it.
If September 5 is number 5, I think Hard Truths is nipping at its heels.
That's the one, Perri.
It is very, very close for me between those 2 movies.
Yeah,
I have Hard Truths as my number 1 honorable mention.
So yeah, there you go. And it was very tough for me, but I ended up going with September 5 as well.
I feel like there are 6 movies that are absolutely fully deserving of getting nominations, and those are the 6. But there are only 5 nominees, so it's either September 5 or Hard Truths. We're going with September 5 now. That could change.
There are a lot of deserving nominees.
Yeah.
What else you got, Jeff?
Also,
again,
don't
I love. Sorry, go ahead.
Just don't overlook Seed of the Sacred Fig here too. That's another one that I think has a chance of being like not a surprise because I'm bringing it up right now, but like something that could upset a bigger player that we've already named.
What about Challengers? Does that have a chance? Because
it's more in the conversation than I thought it would be, admittedly, but I still think it is like too far on the outside to break through here.
Well, I Challengers, I watched it again recently after seeing it when it first came out in April, I think. And it is an excellent film, and the score is amazing. I just love the score.
Here's one for you, Mans. And I'm curious to see how the conversation goes next week, because I think if the movie opens big, that could change the course of the conversation a little. It's Baby Girl.
Baby Girl, yep, absolutely it could. I think right now, though, the conversations around Nicole Kidman.
Meanwhile, I see Nicole Kidman's chances going down and the movie's chances in screenplay going up.
Interesting. Why is that?
I think we've had some changes in particular in Best Actress, and I think some of the recent nominations and also snubs at certain awards bodies are making me think that she is going to get bumped out, whereas here, I do think there's wiggle room with that 5th spot. And if the movie creates that much buzz and puts it on people's radars upon release this week, that could be the nudge it needs. Who knows?
Perri, I don't think you're out of line. I think it's a pretty good theory. Here's the thing.
What is it, Jeff?
If that happens, it's going to come at the expense of Coralie. There's only going to be one between the Substance and Baby.
Oh no, I think Coraline gets in.
Well,
yeah,
I think so too. But I'm telling you,
I do think she's a lock. I'm not completely writing off what you just said, Jeff, because I know the sad truth of this industry and how that thinking goes. But I think the Substance is more than enough of a lock for that not to be the case here. I think it is literally just a matter of it being a really tough race for that 5 spot.
Baby Girl's in the race. I mean, the 3 movies that you guys just mentioned, or 2 of them. There's a third though. With the most infuriating endings of the year are Challengers, Seed of the Sacred Fig. You guys see that? The end of that movie?
Yeah.
Absolutely infuriating. And Heretic, which is a really well-written movie that I just didn't care for the last 20 minutes.
Heretic's really good.
I love the first 2/3 of the movie, but when everything goes down into the basement,
it's a fumble.
I feel the complete opposite about that, but I will say, because it's somewhat adjacent to the Baby Girl conversation, I don't think Heretic has a chance here, but I do think Hugh Grant's chances are going up and up and up every single day we get closer to nominations.
I think he's very, very strong. He could edge out Daniel Craig in Best Actor.
There are 2 movies I have to mention because that's my duty, are Civil War and All We Imagine Is Light, which I have not seen. The 2 movies that I want to advocate for, though, real quick, The Apprentice, obviously, love that, but that has no chance. The movie that I'm disappointed has no chance because it is the most rewatchable movie of the year. I've seen this movie 5 or 6 times, and the script is fantastic. It's on fire. And that is Saturday Night. Perri didn't like it. Perri didn't like it. The script is so good in Saturday Night. It just... the beats, the jokes, I'm telling you. Go back and watch that again.
That is one of the thinnest scripts I have experienced on screen, which is part of the reason why I did not love the movie.
There's definitely no, I know what was lacking for. That's why I've never called you crazy for that opinion.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
There are other opinions I'll call you both crazy about, but I get it. But I loved it.
I really think Blitz really missed the boat on a lot of potential awards this year. I had it as an honorable mention for original screenplay.
Which one?
But Blitz. Yeah. All right. So listen.
I'll just throw out one of my own personal curveballs. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's deserving. I would have loved to have seen My Old Ass be in this conversation. I think that's a brilliant original concept that they take in directions that I wasn't quite expecting and made the story feel whole in a really refreshing way.
That's an indie spirit play.
Well, I mean,
it something at Indie Spirits.
It did. I can't remember specifically the nominations it got. Okay. I know Megan got nominated at CCAs, and so did Maisie, but I can't remember the Indie Spirit ones.
All right. Well, there you go. Original screenplay. We do agree. We all picked Anora, A Real Pain, The Brutalist, The Substance, and September 5. So those are our picks for original screenplay. Let us know what you think of our picks in the comments section. Make sure you share FYC, especially this episode, because we cover 3 categories on all your social media platforms. So people who have not yet gotten on board with the 3 best Oscar pundits that you will find anywhere, that they will get on board after you share FYC on your social media platforms. Make sure that you subscribe to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to Jeff Snyder's newsletter, The In Snyder, which is up there with World of Real as my favorite news website. I mean, Jordan and Snyder are my go-to people for scoops and breaking news. You guys are awesome. So, I honestly, Jeff, I go to World of Real like 3 to 5 times a day. I know.
So do I. I love Jordan's site. He's doing a great job.
He's doing an amazing job.
Imagine if we ever teamed up and joined forces. Oh, my goodness.
Well, there's a hint. Maybe you guys should. Anyway, until that happens, make sure you also check out Jeff on John Roca's Friday show, The Hot Mic, on John Roca's YouTube channel.
Thursday.
Catch me on some mornings on KTLA in Southern California.
Doing a great job, Scott. You're honoring Sam's legacy very well.
That means a lot coming from you, my friend. I really appreciate it. So make sure you have a very, very happy new year, and we will see you with a brand new FYC in 2025. Until then, One last for 24. Wait, one more. Let's go out with a bang here on 3. 1, 2, 3.
FY.
FY.
See you later.
See you later.